Okay, guys, we're here. Guys, we're here. So, guys, this is where things get real. Because these are two monumental UCL semi-final games. Let me just set the stage for you guys right now. On one hand, we have a potential revenge mission. We all saw what happened last year, and I think, arguably, that Real Man City semi-final last year is probably one of the best UCL games I've seen in terms of entertainment and drama. You all saw my reactions to when Rodrigo said what's up. So to have a part two of that's going to be crazy. And I'm going to make a crazy call. I'm going to make a very unpopular call on that Real Madrid City game. We're going to talk about Real Man City and the permutations and what could happen. On the other hand, Milan derby. I mean, come on. We're talking about football heritage. Some people said Napoli would make the final. Some people said Benfica would make the final, not naming any names. Some people said these things would happen. But AC Milan and Inter, they took it back to the 90s. They took it back to that catenaccio. They say, you know what? All this tiki-taka is cool, but defense still says what's up. So we're going to talk about a Milan derby and who has the edge. Could Giroud possibly increase his crazy repertoire? Could Lukaku score the usual winning goal and create the greatest comeback story in the history of the game? So there's so many different permutations. So I've got a great panel here with me. Hopefully we're going to get some Hazard may be coming as the Milan guys. So we're going to talk about this stuff. We're going back and forth. Real City and, of course, Inter Milan against AC Milan. Two absolutely amazing games. And I'm going to talk a bit about the whole UCL draw afterwards and my beef with UCL draw. So remember, guys, like that vid, subscribe if you're new, and feel free to send in your super chats and your dubs. Those super chats and your dubs help to keep this channel growing. So I thank you for that, man. So guys, we're going to be coming in and out and so forth with this stuff. But let's just first start with Real against Man City. Let me just kick things off. Let me hear my stream mark. Let me just kick things off. There's been so much chatter from Real Madrid fans. Football heritage. And do you know what I find so crazy? There's this crazy belief from Real Madrid fans that they'll win. I have not met a single Madrid fan who even has like a 50-50 or 60. Every Madrid fan I've spoken to, everyone who's commented on my vid says, oh no, we're going to win. And look, if you're Real Madrid, and judging from the history of Real Madrid, you can't fault the the unwavering belief in your team because history says there's 14 times. So I can understand that. But this is why I say Madrid fans should be wary. And I'm sure Small and Patrick will speak on this. I think Real Madrid are underestimating how good City are. Because it's two things. They're underestimating how good City are, and they're underestimating the power of revenge. I don't care when anyone says, I will hold this for the rest of my days. If Chelsea were not screwed over by that ref in '09, we beat United in that final because we were coming for revenge in '08. But a lot of Madrid fans really believe that, oh, no, we're going to win this. So, and before I give it over to Paul, here's my view is this. And this is going to be crazy, but I'll say it. City's harder game will be in the final against either Inter or AC. I think City will easily beat Real Madrid. They won't destroy them. They won't smash them. But I think this would be a pretty straightforward two legs for Man City. And I think it's going to be a lot easier than people are making it out to be. Paul, what do you say about this, bro? Just your general thoughts again for Man City and so forth, man.
Look, everyone knows what you're trying to do, and I thank you.
Oh,
okay, but I can tell you, I think most Madrid fans, at least with some brain, which I believe are most, I think we all regard City as the ultimate football machine. Nobody is saying otherwise. Everyone acknowledges City as having super football, the best press in the world, the best pressing in the world, have great, amazing players, great form, and world class. If I mean, maybe the best player in the world right now with Haaland. Nobody's understanding. We're not underestimating City. We know who we are, and hey, you sometimes lose. It's not like because we're Real Madrid, we're going to win all the time. But to me, it's not about being confident. It's about if I am not confident in this team after what happened last year, after all they've done, like I'm a sad person, bro. Like, how am I not gonna believe? Like, I must believe, I swear to God, I will believe to the 18, like to the last freaking second, because I have to. Because what kind of fan would I be? If Chelsea did what Madrid did and had all the champions that we had, could you believe? Like, I know you're shameless, okay, but do you really think like it would be logical for you to play the underdog? I mean, you could play who you want.
No. But this is Paul. It's not the underdog, but it's Paul. My thing is that it's all about context. 1,000% Real Madrid should believe, and 1,000% based on how it went last year, you should
Okay,
have belief.
Real Madrid is a miles ahead better team than last year, miles ahead, and City in some ways are as well. But Real
Paul,
Madrid
okay,
have
Paul. Now, be objective here, and I don't know how objective
Be
could be. Hence,
objective.
what we can bring guys. Who do you think has improved more compared to when you last met? You guys or
Madrid,
City?
Madrid. City has a profile like Haaland, which has massively improved them. I don't want to undermine City. I think they started the season a little bit off, but it you can see it pays off. It paid off. But the thing is, you are having Vinicius in a demon form, which he's triple as good as he was before. Rodrigo is exploding. And I don't want to jinx it, but it's just I'm trying to be objective. And the objective thing is Madrid is a much better team right now. It's more balanced. Now you have more legs in the team, more young people. You have Camavinga just shining. You have Cruz actually recovering some form. I'll be honest, like, yeah, I mean, this Benzema, I think Benzema will actually play a good game. I think he was saving the other day because he didn't want to risk any injury. But why did he
Okay.
play? I don't know.
Let me bring in Venks, your general thoughts. Are you as confident as Paul going into this game against Man City?
Uh, no, I'm not confident, but I'm not less confident as well. It's a 50-50 for me. Obviously, I don't agree with Paul. Like, Man City have improved way a lot than what Real Madrid have this season. Right? They have added Alvarez, Haaland, they are the most improved side in the world. I mean, with the addition of Haaland, right, he is making a huge difference. And but the confidence that I have is not only about heritage. Right? At the end, the players should do it on the pitch. And as much as Haaland is the main guy for City, people are underestimating Vinny Jr., who's an absolute demon this season. And I rate Vinny Jr. as high as Haaland, if not more. I mean, the Premier League sides, big. I mean, they are underestimating us because we are watching Madrid week in, week out, right? We know our team's strengths, and I think man for man, including the defense, I think Real Madrid is a better side. Maybe Pep's coaching might have a huge say, but man for man, individual to individual, I rate the Madrid players better than City.
Oh, no.
So
I'm sorry, Havo. Can I ask a question, please?
Go for it, go for it.
Sure.
I'm out of ignorance. I'm sorry. I don't watch Real Madrid every game. I just watch the big games. Are his numbers, Vinny Jr., better than last year at all?
Yes.
Or that's based
He has just
on
surpassed.
He has surpassed them.
Yes, he has gone past 40 goals and
He
assists
has
again
22
this season.
goals.
So
and I
in
think
the league,
23 assists.
I'm just reading in front of me. In the league last year, he had 17 goals and 10 assists. This year, he has 10 goals and 9 assists. So I don't know what you guys talking about.
This year, he has done well in the
He
Champions
has
League,
22
more than the
goals.
league.
No, I think it's also overall. I think they look at
I'm
overall.
just, bro. I'm just reading the stats in front of me. I'm really not discrediting you.
No, it's fine.
I'm
No,
just
no.
reading the stats in front
Are
of you
you,
guys.
are you reading the league stats or the overall stats?
The league
He's reading the
stats.
league
Because
stats.
to be honest, the Champions League, for me, when you play 38 games, this is your actual level. I know that Real Madrid is a different story, but for us, we judge on 35 games. Like Barcelona in the Champions League are terrible,
So you,
right?
you
They
don't
were
count
terrible, but in the league
Vinicius-
they're better.
You-
No, I
But-
do
no,
count.
More. You can't do that.
count
More, you can't do that, though.
Vinicius' goal against Liverpool when the team was that doesn't count, right? Because the that
It does,
isn't his
it
level.
does.
You don't
It
count.
does count.
Then what?
I'm just asking. So he scored more goals this year than last year.
Yes.
Overall,
Yeah,
yes.
Overall.
Overall.
Okay.
Overall.
So,
yes.
so okay, so,
I
okay,
just,
so yes, no, but before I go to Patrick, but thanks to your point, I think what makes it so fascinating, because let's be real, I feel the two best players right now on form in the world, Haaland and Vinny. I feel that overall, the best player on overall is Vinny, because Vinny is just a better footballer than Haaland. Haaland, great goal scorer, he has no first touch. The guy feels that the eye test. So we're just looking overall in terms of ball control, first touch, football brain, everything. You'd argue that Vinny is amongst one of the best players in the world. Haaland, amazing goal scorer, he's not touching Vinny in terms of a
He's
footballer.
improving a lot, man.
No, he's improving. He's improving.
He's
but
so-
he's
we
not
need
even
to
close
remind you,
Vinny's
what
level.
did Haaland do to Arsenal?
Mike,
No,
he's
what?
not on Vinny's level as a footballer. Come on.
No, of course not. I'm not saying that, but you're saying he has no first touch. But then I give you an example of Arsenal in a big game. What did he do?
He's improving his first touch. He's improving first.
Okay.
Okay, let me come to Patrick. So I want everyone just to have a short say before we go. So Patrick, talk to me. No, because so guys have said that, look, I am actually more with Vent in terms of man for man, Real Madrid are more talented than City. But I feel City have improved more than Real. Real have improved, but City have improved more. Though Real, man for man, are way more talented than City. Not way more, but they're more talented than City. So general thoughts of the game.
You know, I'm going to start this like this. In Africa, they say, no matter how hot your anger is, it can't cook yams. What I'm saying is, there's a lot. Go Google that one. I think some of my proverbs, people think they're not real, but they're real. Go Google that one. No matter how hot your anger is, it can cook yams. Look, this match, we don't care if Vini can dance Sasa or whatever he can do. We don't care what Haaland can do. Tomorrow it's going to be man-to-man 11v11. Yes, both sides, by the way. This time it's not only City, like the way Salah twerks saying he's going to get revenge. Everybody's talking from both sides. Rodrigo keeps talking too much. Bernardo Silva seems to be talking too much from the City side. Rodrigo today I'm talking about Rodrigo from City also talked. Everybody's talking from both sides. Madrid and whatever, they're all throwing shots, cross-through shots at us, and Gundogan has thrown shots to the other side. This is personal. I told Paul when we were doing the preview yesterday, I think there's a personal thing to this. But people are forgetting one thing. And I was told by my good friend, because I was also so blinded by everything that's been happening in the media and what happened to us last season. I think blinded people. Out of 4 times Madrid have played City, Madrid, when Pep is there, Madrid have beaten us once. And that's when we did that fuck up and bottled it. that's the time that beaten us. Out of all, and let's not forget that
That's
it was this.
interesting. That's
Yeah, it was this
interesting.
same Man City that went to Madrid and came to City, beat them 2-1. So people keep forgetting that exists. Now, saying all that, this is still Madrid. Madrid can be battered for 40 minutes, as my Madrid friend told me. He's told me this multiple times. They can be battered for 40 minutes and then they wake up and do something. What I've noticed is the team Madrid seems to have a flow where there's never a game plan. They can actually switch whenever they want. They're that smart. The players are that smart that they know how to sort it out themselves on the pitch. You can start with
But Patrick, very quickly now, and I think because Paul, remember what I said to you? This is the perfect analogy that I said. Man City is a hit single, Real Madrid is jazz. So for Man City, everything is perfectly orchestrated. Every little is orchestrated. For City, it's you just interpret and you go with the flow. And it's very hard to play against something where you're just flowing because it isn't systematic. So going to your point, at any point Real Madrid can just, because you can't plan for Real Madrid because they are unpredictable. Because they don't have a set way of playing, which is what makes them so dangerous. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, basically, yeah, I've been watching them and I've been watching a lot of tactical analysis on them. Everybody keeps saying the same thing. They keep freezing few things. Madrid just know how to sort it out themselves on the pitch. Ancelotti, yeah, is the perfect manager because he entertains that. He's not a freak that if you go outside his plan, he is going to roast you. Remember what he said? He says the boys know what to do. Now, Pep has been stealing that this season. He's also let Man City players that have come out and said, he told us that we know what to do against Arsenal, and he told them away and home that this has nothing to do with me. You're big boys. You know what to do, which is great. But the thing is, what I'm looking for is what my friend has told me, that this team, if you come with your perfect plan and execute it and finish your chances, because that's the issue. You've noticed when a team finishes their chances, they will destroy Madrid. But if you mess up and then give them an opportunity, and as always, Benzema smiles, goes in the middle of the pitch, calls Modric and Vini, just no game over. If you think I'm lying, go watch all the videos of all the games they played against PSG. Every time Benzema calls Vini and Modric, they smile. It's game over for the other team. I don't know what they tell each other. I don't know if Benzema's got... Whose dog is that?
I don't know whose dog that is. Is that Mike's dog?
I don't know if Benzema
mine.
has got... I don't know if Benzema's got nudes of Vini and Modric, and they step up and the whole thing goes crazy. But look, tomorrow I'm expecting different Man City. If we don't make it through this, as I told Paul yesterday, I would rather HH every year in the UCL to meet Bayern, to meet Madrid, to meet all the guys who claim to be big boys like Chelsea. I had to throw that shot in there because you guys are non-existent. But it would be an honor to always meet Madrid, Bayern in every UCL semi-final, because I want this team to continue getting this to them, and I'm pretty sure eventually it will click. But let me just speak on Haaland. The disrespect on Haaland, I think, is a bit unfair.
Because disrespect.
Yeah, because I don't know if you saw that clip of his step over and nutmeg he did. That was technique to the best. And also against Arsenal, bringing that ball down, that's the first touch. So HH, you're losing this battle. The more you talk about this guy, I think he watches your stream. Every time you talk about, tap, he dribbles, he's doing it for you. But the only thing I've noticed is the more he gets involved, he seems sometimes he's forgetting how to score. But what I've always noticed about Haaland is every time he misses in the last game, the next game is always...
That's what it says. Yeah.
So I'm just praying for him that him and Courtois has a bad day, because Courtois seems to be rescuing these guys sometimes. We dunk on these guys. To be honest with you, I respect Madrid, but there's just something telling me in the back of my head that it might go nasty tomorrow for both sides. I think it might be one.
Wait, hold on. Nasty in what sense? That'll come to smoke. Nasty in what sense?
Because I want you to read, even Tony Kroos, when you're saying this, and the guy Rodrigo from our team, the way they're talking to these players are talking at each other. Rodrigo said, I know who I'm going to play. He's talking to Ake. I know that left back. I've been studying him. Why you go this side?
No, but Patrick, think about it though. Do you know how painful that exit must have been for Man City?
It was painful for Liverpool. They did nothing.
Painful. No, because for me, I think that, look, in my opinion, I think that is City's most painful exit. because they know how close they were to beating Real,
I-
and they knew that if they're
are
beating
you
Real,
sure?
they're beating
Are you
Liverpool.
sure? Are you sure we've been dunked on?
No,
We've
no,
been.
no. Let's no. But I think it was probably the most painful. Let me go to Smoke. Smoke, talk to
Yeah.
me. Smoke, talk to me.
Go ahead, Vasco.
Hey, HH,
Yes, sir.
how's everyone?
Yeah, we're good.
I'm a
we're
bit
good.
confused, right? Man, I've been watching Madrid this season, right? And I think the difference is we've actually improved defensively, right? Whereby we don't concede in transition as much as before. And that was the whole reason why Pep was tinkering with the system the whole first part of the season, whereby he's been trying to get another player in the midfield next to Rodri to block the transitions. And if you notice, we don't concede as many. Of course, yeah, Edison is not the best goalkeeper, right? So most of the times, the first shot we face, we concede, right? But we don't concede as much chances as we used to, right? And the thing with Madrid is it's more of how our reaction once they score their first goal, right? That I think that will determine the whole tie. Because if we panic after they score the first goal, then they will score the second and the third, and that's Madrid. They go off momentum. You give that momentum, basically, they can score as much through a short passage of play. So it's a matter of if you concede, try to break play and calm things down, and then get them out of momentum. And if we can do that, I believe, because even if you look at the games, we just lost in moments, and
Yeah.
for Madrid, that's enough. They win games in moments. So if you can try and shorten the moments for as long as you can, I think you have a chance. And I think the difference now is we have Haaland, because last season with Haaland at home we would have beaten them 6-3 or 7-3.
Yes.
Right, that's the difference, right? And Haaland is good enough whereby even if he doesn't convert his chances, but his movement is good enough to create chances on its own. And I believe the difference last season was Casemiro coming back and Nacho. People actually downplay their performances. I think Casemiro pull off a man of the match performance, and Nacho, and no one saw Nacho coming out with that performance, right? So
I think Casemiro didn't play one of the legs. I believe he was suspended or
he
he was
played the
injured.
second leg. He missed the first leg, but
Mm.
he came back for at the Bernabeu,
Second.
and that's when we couldn't break through the middle as we did the first leg. Because the first leg we were going through the middle of the pitch, and Casemiro, as he is good defensively, we couldn't. Right. So I'm more interested to see the pair that Ancelotti will put, because you don't really trust Chouameni, right? And
That's a big discussion, actually.
yeah, you don't really trust
Wait, what was
Chouameni.
that? What was that? That
Yeah, I'm not sure what Vaser's doing. Wait, Vaser, is that you?
He's coming from all the UCL studies.
Oh, okay, he's going to class.
Right,
Vaser, welcome to class, man. Welcome to class, man.
right.
What's good, fellas? What's good? What's
We're
good?
good, man. We're good.
Shout out later. You don't really trust Chouameni, and I'd love Cruz in a DM role. It'll be nice if Cruz can play DM. I'll be so happy, right? Because I believe then we can overrun your midfield. And I think the
he'll
first
actually
leg,
probably play DM. So.
yeah. And I think the first leg, Cruz did play DM, if I remember correctly. Cruz did play DM.
yeah,
in the
he
first
did.
leg,
He
and
did. It was him. It was him.
And
Yeah.
we overran you. So I'm
So,
interested.
so Smoke, overall, you are confident of getting revenge on like Liverpool.
I don't even see it as revenge, because I believe the margins were so close that anyone could have won. Revenge is when, like what Ramos done to Salah, whereby he slam dunk him. He just body slam him.
This guy,
That's
man.
when you cry for revenge. But if it was a close game whereby we lost it because the other team held their nerves, I don't really think you call it revenge. We just lost, and you give it
All right.
kudos to them.
So, Mike, talk to me, Mike, more, and then I'll come to you, Vader. So, Mike, general thoughts. This Real City game, man. What are you saying?
When it comes to tomorrow, I think the pressure's on Real to win this game. They have to get a result. I just can't see them going away to the Etihad and getting a result.
Yeah.
And I think for Pep and Man City, they can go into this game and approach it like they did away to Bayern and away to Arsenal, where they didn't have all possession of the ball. They had like 35% ball possession at Arsenal. I don't know how much they had at Bayern. I think Pep's going to use that approach. Pep is not this madman where he's going to overthink it. I think he understands. He has his tactics. He's going to stick to it. He ain't going to play KDB at right wing back or anything crazy like that. He knows what he needs to do. They can just play Route 1 football. That's how they scored their first goal against Arsenal. It was literally a long ball towards Haaland, who has a first touch, unlike you, HH. I don't know what first touch you have. It must just pinball off of your feet. I don't think so. We need to see some footage, because you keep saying this, but we need to see some footage before I can believe this. But to be honest, nobody's discussed this. Militao is suspended for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think he's been fantastic all season. I mean, the last couple of weeks it hasn't been the best that we've seen of Militao, but he's been really good.
And he's Rudiger in there as well. Sketchy.
Although, I mean, if you want any guy to rattle Haaland, even though Haaland is a freaking alien, this guy, he doesn't seem like he gets rattled. It's Rudiger. Like, you can just antagonize
Haaland
him.
doesn't get rattled. I don't think.
That's what I'm saying, though. Haaland doesn't really get rattled, so that's going to be a big problem for Rudiger. He's got to have a monster game, because if he doesn't with Alaba, that's peak times for Real. But then, when we think of Real, look at Vinny, bro. Look, it's Osasuna. I understand. Shout out to Osasuna. Vinny was cooking them. He was absolute. He was getting triple team. I know every season, Paul. I know, man. It's all the time.
World Cup Vinny has been like this.
Yeah, Vinny's been amazing. So
been crazy.
But and also like Rodrigo, in the big games, he steps up. Right? We give all the praise to Benzema. We give all the praise to Vinny. Rodrigo always comes clutch, and he just makes those sophisticated runs into the box, and he's just so nifty with it. But I really think this is the pressure on Real to get a result. They got to win that game. If City come out with the draw, they'll be happy.
No, it's over. It's no for me. My prediction is 2-2, which is why I think if Real don't win, then forget about it.
It's going to be tough. But yeah, I think really Militao is going to be a big miss that really not a lot of people are talking about.
Mo, talk to me, man. What do you think
I'm
of this
going to
game?
keep it short. I'm going to say on paper, theoretically, City should win both games. On paper, they are in a great form. Maybe they are not the same team as last year, but the last couple of months, City have been playing different kind of football, and also watching them against Bayern Munich. So now they can cope with both aspects of the game if they have the position or they don't. In both aspects, they can play, which is the new thing about Pep Guardiola, who had only one way of playing football, and now he has multiple. And so this is number one. Number two is that Real Madrid, if I'm going to pick a team to cut through the City press, it would be Ancelotti and this year's Real Madrid. This year's Real Madrid, they're different a little bit in terms of transition. When they get pressed, they can't get out of the press with the passing, because I think Vinny Jr., yes, I didn't watch him enough, but from what I'm seeing now, his passing ability has increased. So his passing ability increased. So even if Modric 50% with Benzema, even Rodrigo gives you another aspect. So I think if I'm going to pick a team to bypass the press of Man City and hit them into the transition, it will be Real Madrid. So it's all about be a battle, one-on-one battles, but also can the team get closer enough when they get pressed to bypass that press? I think this is the battle for tomorrow for Real Madrid. And I think they can score goals against this Man City. Mourinho said it 10 years ago. If you play against Pep Guardiola and you have the quality to bypass their first wave and the second wave, you will score goals against them, and you will isolate their players. And that's what happens when you have quality players like the Camavinga's level now. Tchouaméni is not on the top level, but I think he might step up. Toni Kroos always comes clutch, in my opinion. So that's my 2 bits about this game.
Oh no, I think even just to come to it, I think Mo does make a good point, which is Pep has a plan A. Like Pep, he even said in that all or nothing, we lose because we didn't execute plan A fully well. He says that if you execute plan A fully well, we will always win. So you're not so Pep is going to give you with a plan B. So his plan A is always, we're going to commit guys forward, you're going to give in space, and we're going to try to dominate. So as Mo just said, if you're able to expose and execute those spaces and beat that press, that is where you're going to get that chance. The issue is just very difficult to do that against a team who are, like, Pep teams have one of the best pressers in the world. But if you can find a way to beat that press, which is the question for Real Madrid, then you're now cooking, man. Vader, talk to me, bro.
Been waiting for this. My Friday night classes, studying my UCLEs. You know what it's been like, HH. I got books, HH. I got books. I've been studying, man. The cramming is over. The cramming is over. Now is when I apply this information. I'm glad you got me on the show. You know what Mo talked about brings up a good point with regards to plan A, plan B, as you talked about. But Pep has always been a man with a plan, right? And he's been a man with a plan with the tools at hand.
But he doesn't have a plan B, though. There's no plan B.
No, but this year he does. This year he does.
No, he's
That's the difference.
Listen, he's had plan Bs, but it also depends on the tools at hand. And when he didn't have a striker and had to play a false nine, there's not really much you can do with altering that plan. Now, arguably, he's got two strikers. He's got one that's setting records. And he's also got what used to be plan A, which was a false nine, a possession-based type system, which can always be the fallback plan. It can always be the fallback plan. That's what I got in notebook 2 with regards to the false nine. When I look at what he can do with a striker this year, the directness, the worry that the defenses now have, they're having sleepless nights. Before, they didn't have to worry. They were sleeping calmly when it was Jesus, Sterling playing false nine, Zinchenko playing false nine, Gundogan. Nah, these guys are growing platinums like I am with the stress right now. They got Haaland having to worry about. They got Alvarez coming on as an option as well. Now, what I want to point out with regards to this game is he doesn't have to win it on the first leg. I love that you brought up the point. If they go in and they're like, for whatever reason, it's not our day, we got to concede and maybe leave this leg with being a 1-goal deficit, it's calm going back home. As opposed to when we used to play, notebook number 1, we'd go to try to win it on the first leg. We'd always just go all out, try to win on the first leg and leave ourselves exposed. Now we can be a little more risk adverse. And we saw a glimpse of that. Sorry, what was that page? We saw a glimpse of that against Atletico Madrid. Against Atletico Madrid, Pep was like, let's see if you guys can break us down.
So that's interesting. So are you saying that the first leg being at the Bernabeu, are you saying that Pep is going to have the same approach that they had with Leipzig in the first leg? Super conservative, give nothing away, and go all out in the second leg? Because I feel, I really don't know. One part of me says that Pep is like semi-final, keep it easy, be conservative. But another part of me is that, no, I really want to show these guys that we should have beaten you last year. And we so should have beaten you last year. I'm actually going to come all out to actually beat you in your own house.
See, in past years, I wouldn't have been able to answer that question. But with the amount of studying that I've done, I can answer that. Pep's got options. Pep, what you've noticed when we play, we see how you want to defend against us. I forget the game, but we kicked the ball off. I believe it might have been Arsenal. We kicked the ball off, and they pretty much retreated. They didn't come and attack us, try to get the possession of the ball. So what Pep can do now at kickoff is see, okay, where are you trying to lead us to with regards to maybe setting traps? How are you defending us? Are you leaving your defenders, maybe your two center backs, 2-on-1 against Haaland? That's all that he can kind of assess, and then we go game plan to game plan. Now, what I love about going into this leg is, and Patrick mentioned it, when we go against quality like this, it's the only way to earn this UCL. No, we got an easy draw. We're getting our way to the final, and let's hope for it. No, we're going to earn this thing. If we happen to beat Real Madrid, we've earned this thing. And now let's go on to win it in the final. That's the right way to do it. That's the right way to test whether we've learned our lessons from the past. And the approach that I believe in this first leg is let's not reveal too much. Let's see how you guys want to defend. Let's see how you want to attack, and let's do the same thing because we have a second leg at home that we can properly deal with things. So we'll talk about. I want
to add to what V's saying about one thing that it changed in the last 2 months is that Pep Guardiola can play long balls now because Haaland now, people talk about the first touch. If you guys watch the first touch against Arsenal, couple of times or 3 times actually, he put the ball down really simple to the midfielder coming. So if I'm Real Madrid, I'm really not knowing what to expect in this game because Pep can really be conservative, and V said, hats off to you, my man, and can play long ball and play off him. This is something that people have to think about now. This City team is different than the Centurion than last year. Have hope. Yes, you said he's a plan A man. I think he learned, my man. I think he learned. He planned A, B, and C.
Oh yeah,
But-
can I say something to you,
No,
Mr.
I
Miche?
agree.
but real quick, just in response to much, I think I feel that Haaland is pretty much the plan B. Pep is a child of Cruyff. And when you're a child of Cruyff, you have to be married to that philosophy of how football should be played. So based on what Cruyff and Reynolds Michel's taught him and the whole total football, his planning will always be football is played a certain way. We never retreat. We never have men behind the ball. It's a certain way. So it's sort of a yes to both. Yes, he still has only have a plan A, but also it's also a plan B. He's trying to get Haaland to play like how his plan A is, but what is so dangerous to the point that moment and everyone has made is, man, Paul and Ven, man, City can hit you with that two flex. Okay, the passing game isn't going, route one. And if you now go route one to now a striker who you didn't have to deal with last year, that is a whole other ball of works that you didn't have to deal with before. And you see, it may not be this easy, but this is my math, and I'll come to Patrick. It was literally like inches away. It was finally balanced without Haaland. Now they have Haaland. Now Grealish has improved. I know Real have improved, but City have improved so much exponentially with one of the greatest goal scorers we've seen. I know 1+1 does not equal 2, but I think this math is pretty basic in the sense of like, unless Real do something extraordinary, I just can't see how Real beats City with the kind of weapons they have. Patrick, come to me now. I'll take your jobs, guys. Patrick.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you about the plans that have been set. It's not only in the attack; it's also in defense. What Pep has said this season is, let me tell you something. Pep took it personal. I think the Madrid thing. Somebody said it at the beginning of the season, and we all laughed at him. One of my friends, Carl, and we didn't take him seriously. Then he said, Pep has taken this very personal, and the reason why he's messing up this season. Remember, you were saying he's playing around this season. He was actually playing around. You could tell that City could have beaten a lot of teams the beginning of the season, but he kept on playing around with, okay, if I put 2 4-backs, and if you notice, it was for specific teams that can counter. If it's just a team that he thinks, he was just leaving a back 4 and we win the game easily. But he was looking at teams like, especially for Spurs, he made me laugh. The first time Spurs came because Kane can do what Benzema does, where he becomes he becomes a false nine, goes into midfield, drags the player. Pep, he first started with a back line and well, Spurs were smoking us. Then he went with his box where he told Rico, "You tuck in now," and he tucked in, and Rico was following Kane wherever he goes. Same thing as John Stones is doing in midfield. Somehow, as I said, I don't know if he knew that I will eventually have to meet Madrid. Somehow, I'll eventually have to face a team that has got somebody like Benzema dropping in. And another thing he said this season is, he said, I like Akanji, Ake, Diaz, and Stones because they can defend 1v1. Obviously, he was throwing a dig at people like Walker, which he's not been great with.
Yeah.
He was throwing a dig at Cancelo, Zinchenko, who he had before, who they cannot defend 1v1, and Zinchenko was smoked by Benzema in the first leg. So that's what he's enjoying. But if you've noticed, that box, I think, as my friend Carl said, it was designed for Benzema. It's as if it's for him. Because every time there's a striker who keeps dropping in, he tells John Stones, go down the middle, you lock him up and follow him. So they'll follow whoever it is. And the centre back doesn't have to, all the centre backs don't have to follow. We've got the back. But anyway, look, Madrid at the end of the day have performed magic in this trophy. And let's not sit here and just say it's all City. Things can go wrong. But it's just I'm more confident in this City team with the defense. But don't forget also, Atletico Madrid had slapped the shit out of us. Sorry for saying that. Before we went to Madrid, they had made our players injured. Some of our players were in injections. It's not excuses, but some of the players were already slapped by Atletico. I hate that team.
Excuses.
I'm just saying, has to have Fernandinho, 35 years old, as a right back. For Walker to be on a painkiller and then go off in the second thing, it was not good to play against Atletico Madrid. Even Pep said in his press that I'm so happy right now that the medical team has managed to get us to the best condition right now. Obviously, Ake Paul has still stayed back, even though he was training that left him in City. So it's going to be Akanji. I still trust Akanji. Look, let's just see how it goes tomorrow. But another thing, just on the Veta thing, what I like also about this team is it's not only Haaland people should be concerned about. These days, when Haaland is failing, all Pep does is plan B sometimes, or plan C is throw in Alvarez. And Alvarez seems to
It's very
be,
different,
and
yeah.
he seems to be Jesus, but can finish. So we'll see anyway. We'll just see tomorrow. We'll see.
So let me take some dubs, and then we'll then go over to the next one. So K Dog, thank you for the dub. I've been listening to other English analysts trash, obviously. What if Grealish outshines Vinny? That will halt a narrative. Truly, I just want a good game. Look, here's my thing. Grealish has been very good. He's much improved. Vinny is a different level. Now, here's the thing. Grealish, okay, let's say Grealish like performs better than Vinny. It's doubtful, but let's just say that he does. Like Grealish does better. It still doesn't mean that he's as good as Vinny. Because Vinny has been doing this for the past, 2-3 years now. Grealish just got here. He just got here and so forth. So for Grealish, give me another 2 more seasons. Vinny has been at a high tier 1 level for the last 2 or 3 years. So there's still a wide gap between both of them.
HH, can I ask Mike a question?
Wait, hold on. Let
Mikey.
me, and I'll come to you. Wait, hold up. AJ, clip this. Vinny will Bale versus Maicon, Kyle Walker. No. Do you know why? Because you are basically, first of all, you are disrespecting how good of a defender Walker is, and I think you forget just how trash of a defender Maicon was. Maicon was a garbage to do. Okay, he wasn't garbage. He just wasn't very good. I mean, I think Mo will agree with me that Maicon was a very good footballer, quality footballer.
Yeah.
As a defender, he wasn't that great a defender. So
Cancelo vibes.
yeah, Bill considers that. Now this is crazy. David T. Temporary Madrista visa in progress.
I think I actually had one paper arrive today, but I denied it.
Thank you,
Paul, you must have gotten it from Splash because now he's a Madrista. Obviously, RDS, YSK. Who else?
Someone's forging papers here.
We can do it, inshallah. Hashtag Hala Madrid. David T. Worry about getting top 4 first. Worry about going back to your club, man. K-Dog. Close your eyes. Eden subs in 80th minutes and G's up.
I'll switch off the TV. If that happens, I'll switch off the TV.
Hazard is not even going to be in the squad. So basically,
is he even registered for the Champions League? Is he even registered?
He is, but out of the contract.
More. That's a low blow.
Wait, hold on.
No, I was serious, Patrick. I was serious.
If he's registered, I'll take that.
No, HH, did you see what he said? He says he wants to honor his contract and play next season.
He wants to stay, and then there are rumors of him retiring after that. This son of a...
What?
No, Ancelotti prefers even the likes of Mariano and Vallejo coming in before Hazard.
HH, I mean, look at your guy, HH.
Man, whatever happened to that guy? This is bad.
Oh, wait, hold on. AJ, Madrid, Jazz, City, Classical, Chelsea, 6-9 Takashi. Oh, wow. That's.
Look at the ABI as well.
That's a good dub.
No, that's a horrible dub. But YSK Jackson, Don Smoke, I believe. The last person who said that on this platform, their team got levitated 7-1 by Bayern. Hashtag Hala Madrid, hashtag Vamos.
That sounds like Arsenal, That sounds like
YSK Jackson again. Retreating is not in our biological makeup. Hashtag Vamos. So yet again, another United fan needs to go back to the club. English Talent FC Plus. City will destroy Real easy 4-0. EPL coronates the UCL. No, City are not destroying them. But guys, I'll just say it would be okay. Very quickly before we move to our next topic, Paul and Venks. I know just for argument's sake, if City beat you like 3-1 or 4-1, what will your reaction be? If it gets 4-pieced at the Bernabeu?
Personally,
yeah,
I'll still believe in the comeback.
Paul, stop it. Paul, stop. No, Paul, stop.
No,
if you lose, Paul. That makes no sense.
First of all, it's different.
No, Paul. If you lose 4-1, it's over. What the heck?
No. Okay, look, 3-1 is you can't come back. 4-1, it's very hard. It's incredibly almost impossible, especially at the Etihad. But what do you want me to say? No, we're done. No, I'm not gonna say that.
So Venks, please answer my question. So if you were to lose 4-1, what would your reaction be if you were to lose 4-1?
If it's 4-1, it's over. I mean, if it's 3-1, I still believe. If it's 4-1 and it's at the Etihad, it's over. I mean, with the addition of Alba, there's Haaland at the Etihad. think 4-1 it's over. And one quick question to the City fans, right? Still this season, you guys still play a high line, right? Even if it's plan A, plan B, you still play a high line, right? Most of the time.
Yeah.
Right? If that's the case, see, in La Liga, we struggle against the low block teams, right? But in the Champions League, we always tend to do well because of mostly the English teams and the other bigger teams don't park the bus. And Manchester City, I mean, even if they try to, I don't.
That's what makes
they
this
won't
game
do a
so
good
good.
job of it. So that's where Vinicius comes into play,
Yeah.
right?
I
It
actually
plays into
think
his hands.
about this. I actually think Pep, so at times, at stages in the game, will play a low mid block. I actually don't think
Yeah.
he'll
He did against
He done it
Arsenal, isn't it?
against
He dropped the
Bayern.
line against Arsenal.
Okay,
If you watch
guys,
Bayern,
Sorry.
So basically, we're going to come out to it, but I want to just switch over to the other games. Let me just keep my stream marker here, man. So, guys, now, guys, I'm a narrative merchant. So I'm a bit conflicted here. So everyone knows that Mourinho is one of my heroes. Mourinho is one of my idols. And my thing here is I'm conflicted. As much as I would love for Lukaku to score the UCL winning goal, I don't want Inter to win the UCL because that messes with my Mourinho narrative. I need to use the narrative that Mourinho gave Inter their only UCL. I like that narrative as well. But on the other hand, you have your boys AC Milan, who football heritage.
HH. Inter have won 3 UCLs.
Yeah,
I'm counting the Champions League era.
Oh,
I separate both of them.
What? Since when?
Michael is a Chelsea fan.
I separate-
Football started in 2000.
Oh, no, relax.
Go ahead.
Mo, I know. I've been on this channel for a very long time. I know how
So-
It's my
HH
first
works.
time, and it's pleasure to be here. But fine.
No, so
Wait,
I
AJ, how
separate-
many CLs does Milan have? How many CLs
I
does
saw-
Milan have?
7.
Okay, well, technically, it's 7 European trophies and everything. But if we're talking about
Right.
Champions Leagues, okay, let's just say. So here's my thing. So this is tough to call. When this draw was made of internet, it says, okay, this is tough to call. And it is still hard to call. But something just tells me that I want to give the edge to Inter Milan. And here's why. As close as this is, as much as this can go either way, you know what Leao can do, and you know what Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku can do if they actually do combine well. You know how good Simone Inzaghi has been in the cups, and you know how good AC Milan are defensively. So is Inter. So it is so tough to choose between both of these sides. And here's the thing, though. Now, I remember, I believe there were like 3 or 4 Milan derbies that all ended in 2-2. So it's time when the guys like played 4 or 5 games that were super exciting games. We're not gonna have that. These 2 games are going to be super tactical. Don't be surprised if this goes all the way to penalties because it's going to be defensive masterclasses in both these legs. But my thing is, I feel that what could decide this game is how well Lukaku plays. Not if he scores or not, is how well he plays. If Lukaku has an amazing game, I think that could be what the difference
Who?
is.
Can you say again? Who?
If Romelu, the Belgian Jedi Lukaku, yes, I said it. But if he doesn't have a good game, that's where it gets sketchy. But in my honest view, you see, for me, I am more sure of City beating Real Madrid. This game, it can go either way. And I think because it's 2 teams who have been pretty similar in the league, and because it's a derby as well, that is what makes it so much harder and trickier to even call. So let me first come to Mo. So Mo, looking at this game, what are your general thoughts?
Everything I can think about is Rafael Leao was injured. He's not 100%. So that's a big plus for us. We should be superior to Milan. We are better attacking and better defensively, even though we are probably with only 2 points. But Milan have, so that's the difference between Inter and Milan this year. Just keep it short. AC Milan, they have the X factor, which is Theo Hernandez and Rafael Leao. Inter don't. We are just, if we're good as a team, if Brozovic dictates the game, if Lautaro Martinez wears his boots instead of flip-flops, he will win the game.
Wait,
Seriously.
isn't Leao injured? Isn't Leao injured or something?
He is injured. I said that.
Yeah, he's not fit for the first leg. No, yeah.
So he's doubtful. Let's just put it this way. He's doubtful.
Yeah.
Onana, Mike, Manyan, I think they're the same exact plane. With feet are good. they're close to each other. Mike Manyan came late; he was injured most of the season. But I think they're the kind of similar, very similar in terms of like shooting stops and everything. And the defense is the same. Milan defense is not great, but again, for this game, not because I'm an Inter fan, I'm just gonna take off my Inter hat and say Inter should be favorite to win this game, especially with Rafael Leao's injury and Inter in form in the last like month or so.
And you get the home locker room this time, right?
It's not a
It
difference
doesn't really
because
make a difference. No,
because the Corva. Let me explain why. Because people don't know that. Because the main fans, the ultras of both teams, one gets the Corva Nord and one gets the Corva Sud, which is the south or the north stand. And even if Inter are away, they will get whole of the Corva Nord. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
the whole ultras will get that place for them.
So
they will be
regardless
loud.
whether you're home or you're away, you get the same stands.
The stand is there.
Here's
Okay.
the thing. So before I go to Hazem, there are two advantages to playing at home. One are your fans. One is what I call pitch familiarity. Because if your brain is used to the specific dimensions of a pitch, that does help you. It's like Highbury. Arsenal were very good at Highbury because it was such a small pitch. Barca, when Barca were peak Barca, it was so hard to play against Barca because they were so used to really using the space of that wide pitch. But the issue here is they both know the pitch. So that aspect of pitch familiarity isn't going to be an advantage for either side. So I think that really, and also, in my view, I feel that the pitch familiarity is maybe a much more bigger factor of being at home than, let's say, the fans. If you're a professional, fans home or away, you're good. Sometimes people actually love playing away because those boos and those whistles actually give you a chip. But having that thing of like, we know that because no two pitches are the same. So just knowing the dimensions of the pitch and so forth is a really key advantage to everything else. Hazem, talk to me, bro.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say, like, I want to congratulate Inter fans as well and Milan fans that like good to be having such a big game between the Milan clubs in the Champions League semi-final once again. So it's great. So I agree with pretty much everything Mo said, almost everything, because Inter are the favorites for this game. I agree with you 100%, and that's fine for us because I'm happy with that because Milan is totally fine being in the underdog position because against Napoli everyone was saying Napoli is going to win go to the final. Napoli are the highest scoring team in the Serie and so forth. Even when we beat them in the first leg, they were saying San Paulo like they're gonna come back. Osimhen is back,
No,
and Milan took that underdog position well.
Also, because so there was an interview with Aurelio De Laurentiis, who's the Napoli president, and he said that if not for the referee and UEFA, we would have basically been in the semi. So
Yeah. De Laurentiis is a bit delusional sometimes, but that Napoli team was strong. But I just want to say that Inter, I would say, are the favorites because they are the stronger team this season, in my opinion. When looking at the whole season, they've been more. They've had their tough times as well, but they've been still more consistent than Milan, and they have a more balanced squad basically. And as Mo said, the X factor of Leao is going to be probably gone for the first leg. It's still not 100%, but he said it's a minor injury, but most probably we're not going to risk him and play Salamakers on the left wing instead of him, which is, I mean, he's okay on the left wing, but it's not even close. So I don't, to be honest, I don't count on Milan scoring in the first leg. To be honest, I believe both games are gonna be tight. Both teams are gonna be cautious, more cautious than the previous derbies, as this game is very important for both teams. For Inter, to be honest, for Inter, winning the Champions League is a very important aim in order to fix the financial. I mean, in order to take a step towards fixing the financial troubles over there, because there's some stuff going on there. But for Milan as well, we are at risk of not making top four. So we're kind of also trying to put all our eggs in the Champions League.
So is the strategy to keep it respectable, and then hope you have something for the second leg with Leao?
Yeah, I think first of all, I think Pioli is a more cautious coach than Inzaghi. That's my, I don't know, maybe Mo you disagree, but I feel like Pioli always takes the more cautious option when we're at risk. So now that Leao is probably not going to play, we're probably just going to focus on just maintaining a decent result in the first leg, and then trying to get use any small chances that appear.
Yeah, but Milan don't know how to counter without Leao. That's going to be the problem.
That is a problem. Yeah, that is a problem because we do not know how to counter without him unless Theo makes a run. So unless Theo tries to make something happen, we don't know how to counter. So maybe the smarter approach is going a more attacking and high pressing game, which could work well. But I don't think Pioli is going to do that, to be honest. I know I like Pioli and so forth, but I just think he's too cautious sometimes. So yeah, I mean, for me personally, I just disagree with one thing that Mo said, is that the only difference between the Milan and Inter is that we have the X factor of Leao and Theo. I still think personally that whenever Milan and Inter play, the midfield battle is always key, and most of the time I believe Milan still wins the midfield battle. In terms of even when we don't dominate possession, we're always in control of the situation in midfield. Ben Nasser, Tonali, and now Krunic, I believe they're going to be able to hold it down in midfield and limit Barella, because Barella, when he plays against Milan,
Barella is serious, bro. Barella is serious.
Yeah, but to be honest, Barella, when he plays against Milan, we know how to deal with Barella pretty well, in my opinion, because Barella has not shown some good. Like Ben Nasser has dealt really well with Barella in the Milan derbies, in recent Milan derbies. And now we have an additional, because before we were playing with Ben Nasser and Tonali as a double pivot. So now in the Champions League, Pioli added Krunic so it's probably it's a 3-man midfield: Ben Nasser, Krunic, and Tonali. So we're not going to be outnumbered as well. So
yeah, but no respect. I'm sorry. Tonali, Ben Nasser, and Krunic cannot even come close to Brozovic, Hakan. Dude, Brozovic is one of the best registas in world football. In world football.
No, okay, yeah, Brozovic.
Milan beef.
He's not even close.
No.
Like nobody is close. Lobotka this year. Lobotka. But I'm sorry. Like this notion that Tonali fights on a dog and Krunic, these are rockish, boy. I'm sorry, man. These are rockish players.
I mean,
I know you thought Barella, you stop Barella, Brozovic, and I can't. No. This notion is Milan fans keep saying this, that Ben Nasser, Tonali, and Krunic, the Brozovic controlled Liverpool midfield in their prime.
Brozovic control, yeah, okay, that's fine. But have you seen Ben Nasser this season? Like, fair enough, Brozovic is.
I've seen Ben Nasser, yeah, but listen, you tell me Leao, Theo, Tomori, Kjaer, but to talk about Krunic and Ben Nasser, Ben Nasser is great, but he doesn't even grace Brozovic.
Apart from Brozovic,
this is why I'm looking forward to this game.
For me,
okay, because I need this beef. We need this beef, man.
What second?
Because trust me, don't mess with Hazard's Milan. Do not mess with Hazard and his Milan. Hazard loves his Milan, bro.
No, but I agree in terms of Brozovic. Fair enough that he is a world-class player and he has a tremendous experience and he always plays.
And Barella as well. And Barella, you need to stop Barella.
But for me, if you say Hakan and Mkhitaryan, for me those two they're decent, but for me they're not better than.
But they are both better than Krunic, right? Or no? Yes or no?
Again, sorry, could you repeat?
They're both better than Krunic.
Then Krunic, I mean, Krunic. The problem with the talk about Krunic is he's a very role-specific player. So if you watch his game against
average, mediocre player, makeshift midfielder, until he gets somebody.
One of the main reasons we went through against Napoli.
Cheers, Mo.
He's one of the main reasons we went. So he's really good at limiting a player like Hakan, for example. He did it with Zielinski. So look what Krunic did. He completely limited Zielinski against Napoli. So you can say that fair enough.
Maybe tomorrow he proves that he's better than all of them, the 5.
maybe so. I'm just saying that recently, when Milan have played against Inter, the midfield, Milan has usually won the midfield battle for some reason. So maybe Brozovic is a great player.
So let's just pause this. I want us to go. So let me come to Mike. So Mike, looking at this, man, AC and Inter, what do you say, man? What do you say? Who has the edge?
Who has the edge? Let's just talk about this, right? This is a Milan derby in the Champions League semi-finals. This is the equivalent of Liverpool and Manchester United go up against each other in the semi-finals. My blood pressure
an El Clasico. in a
Or in a Classico.
It happened. It happened in 2011.
It happened, yeah. I could not take that if I had to face Man United in the semifinals. Yasser, I don't know how he would react. I mean, the guy would have no hair probably after that semifinals because we would beat them. But the stakes are so high. Like, we could talk about tactics and we could talk about players. We could talk about Krunic, who I don't rate. Sorry, Hassan. I don't rate Krunic. I don't rate Salamakers. These guys are not footballers to me. They just run around there and Pioli gives them instructions. That's all they are. But same to Dumfries. That guy has no footballing IQ.
Dumfries is trash.
He is trash.
Michael knows. I agree. Yes.
No, see, look, Dumfries has been performing better.
Dumfries and Theo again. It's always that battle. Theo.
Oh yeah, they have major beef, Dumfries and Theo. So they're probably gonna fight, and they might get a red card tomorrow for who we care because they just have beef. Wednesday. Sorry, but if I look at both teams right now, without Leao, Milan have no attack. Salamakers. This
Mike,
guy
we're not rating Giroud. We're not rating Giroud.
Okay, Giroud needs service. He ain't gonna get service from anybody.
Mike, I'm not rating Giroud. No, Mike, that was
You should rate Giroud.
Has actually been but Diaz on the wing because
Diaz has been performing well.
Hold on, let Mike talk.
Look, Diaz performed very well against Napoli, and obviously when they destroyed Napoli 4-0 away, Diaz was excellent that game. Got the goal and the assist in the first half, but I just see then, okay, you don't have to worry about Salamakers, and then you could just focus on Diaz and Giroud. Look, Inter are doing this without Skriniar because he's basically just faking an injury and just getting a payday. That's all he's doing. He's just waiting till the summer to go to PSG. They're doing this with Acerbi, Darmian, and Bastoni. Okay, two of those center backs I don't rate, but Darmian and Acerbi. Bastoni, that guy's a quality center back. And then if I look at the midfield battle, I do agree with Hassan that Milan have actually won the midfield battle quite a lot in recent Milan derbies, except for the last two because Inter were just overpowering in that sense, and we know the form that Milan were facing, it was just terrible. I'm going to agree with HH. This is a shock to everybody. Lukaku has been playing well recently. But he's not going to start tomorrow.
No.
That's why I just want to ask.
So they're going to start Dzeko?
It's going to be Dzeko and Lautaro because that's usually been the case in the Champions League games against Benfica, against Porto. It's been Dzeko and Lautaro, and then Lukaku comes off the bench.
Now, this is a very interesting thing. I don't know what one more thing. So basically, let's say, because this is interesting. This is a key managerial thing to do. Do you go with what has worked in the UCL, or do you just go with on recent form? Because that's a decision.
HH, to be honest, what Inzaghi's been doing, he's just been rotating a lot. He's been playing Correa, Lukaku up top, then he's been playing Lautaro, Lukaku, then Lautaro and Dzeko. He's been rotating. He's been using his squad very well because clearly Inter have a lot of games. They've had to manage Coppa Italia, Champions League, Serie A, so he's had to rotate to keep this squad fresh.
And also, sorry, Mike, and also I think what is to Inter's advantage is options. Milan without Leao, they don't have as many good options to change things during the game as it. And I think that'll be key of the kind of subs that Inter can make to change the game. So
the problem for Milan is they put so much money on CDK, Charles de Catalare, who has probably been the worst transfer this season. I mean, Calvin Phillips can take that title, but Charles de Catalare is not far behind. This guy has had zero impact for Milan. He was brought in for 35 million.
Come down, Phillips. Come down, Phillips. You've got Nunes.
Hey, Patrick, your guy came overweight back from the World Cup. I can't praise that. Sorry, bro. But look, Charles de Catalare and Origi, the guy, he's a Liverpool legend. That's it. That's it. So for me, it's going to be a very cagey game tomorrow. I can just see it being okay.
And Michael is gone.
Oh.
Mike
can't see.
I thought that was
it's
me.
because you mentioned
that's what happens when you mention.
Yeah,
that is a 0-0. That is the
Mike was cooking, man. Mike was cooking as well.
Nah, you shouldn't have mentioned against Phillips. You went too far.
Who wants to jump in on this Milan thing? Who's not spoken? Actually, no. Yes, since you just come and talk to me, Milan. What would he say? Milan derby.
It's interesting because I think overall, I think Milan Inter is a better team. That's what I'm in terms of overall this season. I think Inter have been a better team, but this is a Milan derby. It's gonna be. I think this tie is gonna be the best tie we've seen for a very long time in the semifinal. I think this.
Wait, hold on. Best tie in terms of entertainment or what?
I think
because this is not going to be an open game.
No, it's gonna be one of those games where when you sit down, you can't even get up to go, and we can't even get up to get water or stuff like that. Like it'll be that type of game where It's gonna be one of those games
I
that you
think
don't want.
Yasser's screen should
No,
freeze
no,
as
no.
well. I think
Not
No,
like
no.
No,
this.
When
let's
it's a
hear some
when it's a
cook.
goal
You know,
kick, when it's a
Let's
goal
hear some
kick, you have
cook. Let's
more
hear
than
some
enough
cook.
time.
your phone is about to die. You want to grab a charger, you can't because you don't want to miss anything. You know, I think in terms of goals, it might not have like in terms of goals and stuff like that, but in terms of like what's gonna happen on the pitch, things that happen tactically, the individual battles, how fiery he's gonna get. It's gonna be an unbelievable tie.
I know. But let me throw you this though. Do Inter have a lot of pressure to get a good result in the first leg because Liao, if Liao is missing, do Inter have massive pressure to get a good result in that first leg?
No, that's very. See, that's the thing. It's like I don't think so. I think this tie will just be like the Milan derby. It's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be. I don't like. If people look at it in terms of the, I believe, in my opinion, I think Inzaghi is a phenomenal tactician. I rate Inzaghi. I don't know why people don't talk about him as much. I rate him. I think Inzaghi, in terms of the tactical aspect, I think he might get over Pioli. That's just my opinion. But in I think it's one of those things where like you don't know who is going to show up. It's one of those things where like it's hard to predict. Is it going to be Barella? You know, is it going to be, you know, apparently Leao is not going to play. Is it going to be Giroud or is it going to be I don't know if Tonali is even playing.
Yes, he's playing. He's playing.
You don't know who's going to show up, type of thing. I think in terms of the key guys, I think Barella is gonna be impactful in this game. I think Brozovic is an underrated player. I agree with Mo. Like I don't know why people don't talk about Brozovic. Brozovic is phenomenal.
Because basically, let me just go around. So,
Yeah,
who do you give the edge to? AC and Inter. I want to go around the room. Just who do you give the edge to?
I
AC or
give it
Inter?
to Inter. I think Inter is a better team. I give it to Inter.
H, can I just say one last
Yeah,
thing?
go for it,
Because I'm going to head out.
Okay.
Because I watched Theo Hernandez over the weekend. The guy, like, look, I might have to dye my hair pink as well. Because any player that has pink hair in world football right now is cooking. I mean, they're cooking. Look at Grisou. Look at Theo Hernandez. That goal he scored against Lazio was insane. So I might have to do the same thing for my 6th division here in Finland, and maybe I'll start cooking. But I think this is the problem for Milan is, okay, what are you going to do in transition when you're counter-attacking? Are you just going to play to Giroud and hope he can have a good game with the hold-up play? Because how are you going to get involved?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
We don't have to score in the first leg. We can very well do a 0-0 or even lose 1-0 and still go through because we've done that.
I think that's what Pioli's going to do as well.
Yeah.
And Leao's back in the second leg, so 0-0 is fine for us. Totally fine.
Yeah. It's going to be very.
I just wonder then for Leao's health for the second leg, because if you're going to rest him for this game and then the weekend in the Serie A, how is he going to react then to next week with a pressure moment as well? But hey, I think Pioli will try and go for that tactic, and Inter are just going to kind of play it safe as well. They're not going to try and go gun-ho and go all out attack. I think they're just going to play it a bit more cautious. This is why I think it's going to be 0-0 actually on Wednesday. I really think it's going to be cagey.
Okay,
I'm confused.
Wait. So I'm just going to go around. So Paul, who do you give the edge to? AC or Inter? Who do you give the edge to?
I also do believe that Inter is the better team, but I think it will be a 0-0 because it has already been said. Okay, yes, I think Inter is a slightly better team, but not enough of a better team to in the first leg go against a Milan that I think is going to be very, very defensive to try and get that 0-0 and wait for Leao. Now, even though you don't have a counterattack, you don't need to create because you can just be very defensive and, let's say, try to feed off Inter mistakes. And that is going to be something that Inter has to be very careful about because, yeah, they don't have counter, but it only takes one misplaced pass or one misplaced position in where Theo can make some play. So I don't think Milan is going to score. I really don't think so. But if Inter gets too confident and start getting too comfortable with the ball, because I don't think Milan will try to contest it, I just think that they can be surprised. I still think, again, Inter's a better side, and I think it will all be decided in the second leg with Leao.
Smoke, what do you say?
I think I edge it to Inter because of I think with Leao missing, because Leao normally gets Milan up the pitch, especially in transition, right? Because then now it's more like, okay, you win the ball, Theo gets it. Okay, Theo can make a run, passes it to Giroud, he holds it, and you don't have that thread running around him. Whereas with Inter, I think the midfield is good enough to hold the ball, and it's more of how clinical they're gonna be, because the Milan's defense and keeper basically will determine the score going into the second leg. And then I think the second leg won't be as people are predicting, because we don't know what kind of Leao we're gonna get back, because they might rush him, right, and how far will he push his body, because they're still fighting top four. So you might have to basically pick your struggles, because the medical team might be like, okay, if we run, we can risk him, but then he might be out for other key games in the season, because they haven't guaranteed top four. So I think Milan might have to basically pick their season. Do we go all in the Champions League with the risk of us not winning, even if we go through, because we might have to verse a Real or City, or do we try fight to secure a Champions League for next season? Because if you lose Leao, you might as well forget our top four. So I think it's up to Inter how if Lukaku and Lautaro will have the shooting boots on, because they will get chances, right? They will get chances, and but I see if they win, it won't be bigger than a one goal margin. It will be a very close game.
Patrick, what are you saying, man? And they'll come to you, Venks.
To be honest with you, I did say at the beginning, if you go to the videos when we were doing previews and people were twerking for Napoli, I did say that bring on Napoli, this hype is going to die. Somehow the hype has died. Inter and AC Milan are one of those games that you can't point. Like this, like you can even see the two fans on the panel, are Mo and the other guy. They're already arguing. This is Hazem. This is how deep it is. So. Like I said, the Madrid thing and City is personal, but these guys, it's way personal. This is
Way
one of
more
those
personal.
things where if you see somebody in the streets, it's going down, you're throwing hands, you know what I mean? So I don't know. You might say, oh, just because so and so is not there, just because so and so has got better quality, this is who's gonna go through. But once you get on that pitch, you might find out. You'll be shocked who turns up, because this is personal, guys. Let's not forget the history of these two guys. First of all, they are also sharing a stadium. So you can I'm pretty sure they don't even love that at this moment in time. So I can't call it. I'm seeing it's gonna be a draw. I think this first one will be a draw. They'll test each other out, go for a draw.
So, Patrick, you say that if it is a draw, that is bad for Inter. If Leao is missing, but Inter can't beat AC Milan, that's a bad result.
Yeah, but you can say that and find that, as I said, this won't even be determined on skill. It will just determine on desire and fight. Because I'm sure that stadium there will be boos if the other team is not up to par. Because I'm pretty sure right now they are more sleepless than us City fans and Madrid fans. I think this is more deeper. And to be honest with you, I especially took a day off just to watch Inter and AC Milan also, because I know what's going to happen. It's big. It's big. So at the end of the day, I'm seeing a draw. But to be honest with you, also, I don't underestimate both of these teams. If Madrid or City meet these teams in the final, you still have to be careful, because it's still 50-50 at this point in time going forward to the end. So I see a draw.
Thanks, and then also thanks.
I gotta go. So, guys, it was absolutely fantastic being here. Honored to be in first timer on your channel. I have hope.
And thank you, Mo.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so
much. All
much.
right, see you, man. Take care, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. So, Venks, what are you saying about this Milan derby?
I think Inter will get through just because of the midfield. I'm a big fan of Barella. So Inter just to go through. I mean, even on the first leg, based on the midfield.
Okay, so let me keep the jobs, and then I want us to circle back to Madrid and City. So,
can I also say my prediction?
Oh, Hassan, go for it.
For me, I think it's going to be 1-0 Inter in the first leg, but I still think Milan is going through because I think it's going to penalties after the second leg. And Mike Maignan, you can't beat him in penalties. But the first leg 1-0. I think it's going to be a very tight game, and they're going to get like they're going to slip through our defense basically, and our attack is not going to do much. The only positive thing about Leao not playing is that Salamakers is more defensive, so he's going to double down on Barella and Dumfries on the right side, so Theo can focus on Dumfries and Salamakers can just restrict Barella's movements. But yeah, so we will be playing more defensive.
Okay, so let me just hit some debates because I want us to circle back to Madrid City. So, oh no, I'll do this afterwards. Thanks, Abris Frey. Inter will do it. Even Dumfries is on form now. I'm still not rating Dumfries, bro. The guy's already had 3 good games against Korea, and that was at the Euros.
He's in Theo's pocket. He's in Theo's pocket.
Yeah. So Waske Jackson with some hates for the integrity of football. Why did he spell it FUTBO? Teams cannot
Spanish.
touch the UCL final. God forbid that's PNP Warlord doing anything. I don't think I'll be able to bear it. Just for you, Waske, and for the integrity of football, Lukaku must score. I know it won't happen, but that would be hilarious. If Lukaku scored the UCL winning goal, that would be the greatest football story of all time, man. Waske Jackson again. I've put money on Dumfries to get a red card.
Would not be surprised.
A red card is happening in that game. I don't know who will be, but a red card is happening in that game for sure. Wing. Leao is the best transition attacker since 2012 CR7.
Facts. You can't stop him in transition.
I'll need to think on that. All right, so let's circle back to my Madrid. I want to circle back to Madrid. So, let me just take a few more dubs relating to this. So, now, Paul, I did it to make sure that this guy isn't saying BS. So, retirarse es para perdederos, nosotros no lo hacemos.
It's like giving up or retiring is for losers. We won't do that. We don't do that.
David T, you went to Google Translate. You did do that off the dome. You went to freaking Google Translate. So at least Paul has verified that this was not just on BS. You did. Please do not accept this man to your club. Please don't.
Guys, I gotta go. Just before I go, I just want to say Madrid. Wishing you all the best. Milan and Madrid.
I hope good relations. Milan final.
Milan and Madrid have always had good relations, so we want Madrid to go through. UCL heritage.
Look. If it be an amazing final, it's going to be Pep. It's going to be Pep.
It would be. Imagine it would be an amazing final. A heritage final. This Madrid.
Of course. Paul,
Ancelotti has already predicted Madrid Milan final.
Yeah, he predicted it. Yeah, he said.
I mean, it's the final that we want, but we know that's not what we're not get. Okay, so it hasn't. Shut up, but see the pronounce one hasn't. So from Samasi, who says Man City beating Real in both legs is inevitable. It's not impossible. I doubt it will happen, but I'm just saying it's not impossible. That's what I'm saying. It is not impossible things to have. So I want to come back to Paul and Veng. So Paul, look, what is Real's approach for this? Is Real's approach will just be Real and do our thing, or do you think Ancelotti is like, no, I know we'll do our thing, but we have to have an answer to Haaland and what Haaland proposes, which is something differently from what we did last year. So what do you think Real's approach is going to be to sort of keep Haaland quiet and also enforce the game and put Vini in the strongest positions to really execute?
I actually, I think that the most important matter is that of Cruz or Tchouaméni, because Modric is guaranteed to start, and Valverde, for me, I think he's the most important midfielder for Ancelotti, to be honest. The way he treats him and dressed him and everything. So it's a matter of Cruz or Tchouaméni. I will say, do you remember HH? I don't know if you read it. I think I'll just say I know an account, that as I think it has a very good, inside information, and it's a locked on account and everything. I've been following for a long time. It's just done everything almost perfect. He's not a reporter or anything. And he says that Real Madrid, I don't know if this is true, and I think it's an interesting point. We're thinking Cruz or Tchouaméni. He's saying that Carlo Ancelotti has been preparing from the start a Camavinga pivot. And actually, it wouldn't surprise me if he played a double pivot.
Wait, so hold on. So if Camavinga is there, who plays left back then?
I'm guessing if that happens, I'm guessing he's going to be Nacho. It's going to be Rudiger Alaba as a pair of center backs. Carvajal the right. And actually, now that I think about it, a double pivot would actually help a lot because City are specialists to the center. They like to leave space in the wide
A double
areas. They like,
a double pivot, you say?
it's actually possible. It's actually possible. And he has tried it out sometimes. I don't think. Look, okay. I want to say this. I think the most possible outcome, the most possibly, is going to be a normal, no, 4-3-3, because Camavinga doesn't really play as a left back. He likes to go into midfield. It's more like a 3-4-3, something like that. But it's more like, I think it's mainly going to be Okush Chouameni, but don't be so surprised. At least I mentioned it could be a Camavinga pivot or one of the pivots. It wouldn't surprise me. It would help a lot with the City center aggressiveness. It would help stop the counter from KDB and Haaland. And because actually, to be honest, not in the right wing with the Bernardo, which is probable to. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, Bernardo will play right wing.
He's not like a wide attacker, he's gonna help into the center. He's gonna try to feed Haaland. So maybe playing someone that's Nacho, who likes to more play in the center than just overlapping, is gonna help more in that defense. And at the same time, Camavinga is gonna help with Chouameni to stop Haaland.
But Paul, what happens is Bernardo tucks in KDB overlaps he plays more of a right midfield. That's what they do. They swap when we're attacking. Bernardo will tuck in, KDB will overlap to cross the ball in. So you play as a false winger.
No, I mean, same as look. I don't know. I'm not a tactician. I'm guessing Pep and Ancelotti are seeing things beyond our vision. That's for sure. They're just playing a game of chess. I think Ancelotti's cooking something. I think he's gonna surprise us, and I do think that actually our attack. I said Madrid improved more than City, and what I meant by that is that City was almost the perfect team already, and perhaps the piece that was left was Haaland, right? So in that term, they have improved, let's say, a little more, like more. But it's not as much as Madrid had improved, because Madrid wasn't actually that good of a team in terms of football than it is right now. That's what I meant.
Okay, that's an interesting point. No, but then on the other hand, though, Paul, you have to look at Grealish, who has been way better this year than he has been last year, and I think that's for Haaland. I don't even think you can say Haaland was just like a final piece. I think Haaland has given City a whole new dimension.
Absolutely.
So rather than just like goal scoring, I just think that he's now giving City a totally different tax that they've never really had, because they've never really had a striker like this, of this size, of this frame, and so forth.
But before anything, I want to say it's not something the left wing of City is not something that worries me, especially because Valverde helps a lot in the back, and Rodrigo also tracks back even better right now. He already did. So I'm more worried about the center. For me, is the biggest threat. That KDB, even though he moves a lot, but it's just finding spaces to feed Haaland. And just do not let Haaland go for 1v1. If they're in a low mid block, to your center back. Try to do 1v1 with your pivot. And at least you have your center backs that can correct it. Which was what happened to Arsenal. I don't know why they do that. They left their center backs doing the 1v1 with Haaland. He just needed to win the physical duel. 1v1 against the keeper, or at least hold the ball.
So let me. So thanks. Your thoughts now again, like just expanded of what Paul was saying. Do you think a Camavinga in midfield will sort of help to sort of offset City? Do you think that Ancelotti needs to do something to sort of counteract Haaland, or do you think no, Real just play your game, focus on what you do?
The thing is, we missing Mendy this season, right, or during the final stages of the season, has affected us missing Camavinga in midfield. I think for this tie against Man City, Camavinga in the midfield would give us fans and the team a lot more confidence heading into this kind of a tie, right? But I don't think Ancelotti has confidence in Chouameni at this point in time. I think he starts with unfortunately, I think he's going to start with a Cruz DM alongside Valverde and Modric. I think Camavinga will start as a left back. And I think he's more of an inverted left back, so he can come into midfield and make it a four-man midfield. And I think because it's at home, he'll go with the front three of Vini, Benzema, and Rodrigo. Rodrigo has been starting lots of games this season. That's why the name Rodrigo comes up. When he's getting the chance, he's scoring a lot more. Last season, this didn't happen. All the big matches, Valverde was the third winger or the fourth midfielder. But I think it's going to be a 4-3-3 at the Bernabeu. Camavinga left back, three-man midfield of Cruz, Valverde, Modric, and Rodrigo, Vini, and Benzema down the middle. So that's going to be the approach. The one thing last season, Ancelotti was very clear when he wanted, he was staying. He didn't attack aggressively, right? Even if you see the first leg, even in the second leg, he did. Even though we needed a goal, he didn't go all gung ho. He was a bit, very defensive. Only in the second half, he went for it, and only after they scored. I mean, when we needed 2 goals, we went all out. And one key thing here, right, is Madrid can attack if they need a goal. They are good enough to keep the ball. They are good in transition. They can keep the ball and create attacking chances. So they can. They are a team. I mean, we are a team that no one can predict, right? We are good in defense. We can, even if we want to park a bus, I think we are good enough to do that. If we feel Haaland, if we don't want to give Haaland space in behind, we can push the back line a little, which no other team, I don't think any other team in world football is capable of adapting to both situations. So I think we are in a very good position to handle Man City. And one more thing is no one is talking about. I have a close City fan who's very concerned about Ederson's shot stopping. Right, when you compare Courtois to Ederson, if we get the chances, Courtois can save us. I mean, he can come up with 2-3 world class saves, which we will require. But Ederson, if we get a chance, if some mistake happens at the back, and I think Nathan Ake is going to be a huge miss on the left hand side. Right, I don't think who's going to play on the left hand side. I think it's Akanji.
It's Akanji.
I think Akanji
1v1. No, 1v1.
Right,
I think.
And fullback is better than centre back, ironically.
Yeah, is good. So the thing is, which I was gonna say to Paul, is one thing which we've improved is off the ball, right? We're better off the ball now than we were before. Because before off the ball, we were always nervous because we're used to having the ball all the time. Whereby now we know we can go into a mid-low block.
Yeah, the business
Exactly.
are more confident in defending now than they were last
Yeah,
year.
Pep has evolved. Pep has evolved his game, right? He's whenever he wants to be pragmatic, he tries to do that. So that's a scary part. But still, I feel one thing again, it has come down to Madrid being the underdogs again. I think we like being the underdogs. I think all the pressure is on Man City. If they again fail to get past Madrid this time, I think it's going to be a huge concern, at least on the European stage, right? But for Madrid, the pressure is there. The pressure is always there, but I think the pressure is more on Man City.
I think
I disagree. I disagree. HH.
No, Smoke. He's right. The pressure is on Man City.
No. I'm saying the difference this time is the second leg is at the Etihad, right? Where we know we can, because I think.
But there's still pressure, though. There's still
wait,
pressure
on what I'm saying. We are 25 games in Europe unbeaten at the Etihad. It's the longest English record in UEFA history, right? Etihad, I have all confidence that it doesn't matter how good you are. We will. I think the game will be won and lost in both boxes. Whoever can defend in their box and be clinical in the other box will decide the tie. That's how I see it.
I feel again it's a midfield battle. Again, it's going to be a midfield battle.
I just want to say a quick thing.
Paul. Paul.
The quick thing about the stadiums. It's funny because the City fans, and I understand why, and it's logical. It's absolutely logical. They obviously look forward to. I mean, not look forward. If they get a draw or something like that, it's fine. It's fine because we have the Etihad, right? But actually, I feel like that the Etihad will play for City, but it will not play against Madrid. So it won't be as good as it's still good, obviously. It's local, but it won't be as big as an advantage as it may be with other English teams that may get eaten by the pressure.
I agree with
I don't
you,
think
Paul. I think the Etihad is more of a difference for us, not Madrid.
Absolutely.
Because you've played. I think your players by now they can handle the pressure of all stadiums.
Oh, for sure.
I'm talking about the team. The team's belief at the Etihad is what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
So nothing to do with the opponent. Whereby at the Etihad, and the difference is this: last season at the Bernabeu, we had Zinchenko, and Cancelo as a right back. Walker was injured. right? Because if you remember that game, right? Walker, I think
Fernandinho.
Stones and Walker came off 50 to 60th minutes. And by that time, there we had control of the game, and the moment they came off, Vinny now was having a field day with Cancelo or with Cancelo or whoever they put there, and I think that's the difference whereby our defense is intact this time come around this stage of
But
the season.
is Walker the same player as he was some 2-3 years back? Because I'm not sure
And
He's
Vinicius
still,
is
he's
he
still
has
a
the
better.
very
same
tough
kind of pace.
defender. He's still a
But
very
it's,
tough
But
defender.
he,
Yeah, he's still
Vinicius is much better.
he's not
Wait,
good
wait, wait, wait,
offensively
hold on,
anymore,
let
but
me consider
defending,
yes.
yeah.
Let me consider yes, go for it. Yes.
you know, this game is a very tough game to call because overall, I think Man City, in terms of form, in terms of balance of play, they are the better team. When you're playing Camavinga as a left back, when he's not a left back, yes, he's been
Well,
phenomenal.
he
at left
plays
back.
well there. He
No,
plays well there.
but then one thing about the Champions League we always seen is Champions League will test that. It will test. He plays well and all that. They will test it. That's just the truth of the Champions League. It will test your weak points, and I think that the thing is, what is both managers and their mind? What is their game plans going in? Because the thing is, the biggest mistake Ancelotti can do is worry about Haaland. I think if he's fearful of Haaland, that's the worst thing. Then you lose the game.
Yeah.
That's why he'll play Cruz and not Tchouameni.
Yeah. So if you game plan for Haaland, I think you're gonna lose the game because as we've seen with Arteta, the whole game plan was stop Haaland and they got destroyed. I think what's gonna happen is I think what the most important thing is gonna happen is quote unquote the midfield and obviously the wide players. If what Ancelotti should do, and this is probably what he's gonna do, is probably gonna force Grealish to win the game for Grealish and whoever's on the other side to win the game for Man
Silva,
City.
maybe.
Silva. That he's gonna force those two guys to have majority of the ball, and those two guys will have to kill Real Madrid. That's what he's gonna force them to do. He's gonna make sure that the midfield, he's gonna make it into a battle. Make sure that hey, no matter what happens.
So I say that it's going to be an end-to-end open game.
Yes, I think it's gonna
as open as it was last year.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be open, but then controlled at the same time. We're gonna see periods of time where Man City will have the ball and Real Madrid will drop back, be compact, but then you're gonna see the Vini Rodrigo versus the Grealish or Bernardo Silva. Those two will have more of the ball, will have more of the presses in the game, because I think that's what is going to happen. That's what Ancelotti is going to do. So for me, it's then all eyes on Grealish, all eyes on Bernardo Silva, and it's all eyes on who changes what first. Does Pep Guardiola make the first change and changes it, plays maybe KDB out wide or pushes Bernardo Silva more in the middle, tactical switch. I think it's going to be interesting to see that. Because the thing is, for me, is like I said it again, Haaland is an unbelievable player. But to game plan against Haaland is what Pep wants. Because the thing is, like, that's what he wants. You game plan for Haaland, everyone focus on Haaland, and then
you have Silva, you have De Bruyne, you have
De Bruyne, Silva, everybody will kill you. You will lose 7 goals. So the thing is, you want Haaland to drop deep because he won't be. That you literally take him out of his comfort zone, so he won't be effective and he won't be in the box. So what you do is you want him to come deep, be in the midfield, do whatever you got to do, but you make sure everyone else don't play. So it's going to be a very tactical game. Very tactical game.
Wait, so Vesa, I see you grinning there.
Yeah.
Why are you grinning?
No disrespect, guys, but I was on an excellent stream. Shout out to True City Fan and Pitch Points. These are City fans that did a proper breakdown. Happened last night. I was luckily enough to join it and listen in on the information. And no disrespect, Yasir, but if you got time, go and check it out.
Okay.
Because what you're saying is not lining up with some of the expert analysis that happened within that show. The reason why I want to point that out is I believe I heard you. I believe I may have heard some of you on this panel, maybe some of you in the chat, talk about shut down Haaland's supply line, you affect City. And now I'm hearing you guys saying that Ancelotti is not going to worry about Haaland. Have you not seen what Haaland's been doing in the Champions League? Is that not going to be a focal point where you're going to want to minimize him? You're not going to let him run rampant and do whatever he wants?
No. Your whole, I think I think Yes's point is your entire game plan can't hinge on we must stop on a hand. Obviously, it goes without
It
saying
doesn't.
this is one of the greatest goal scorers ever. We have
So
to
let me
have
ask this:
somewhat
if
of a plan for you, but our entire
what's the
game
first
plan
thing you're
can't hinge
taking
on
away
what
from
one
City
do.
then? What's going to be the first thing you're going to want to take away from City? Is it not Holland?
No. If it's me, based on just how experienced those Madrid defenders are, is to stop City from playing. Stop them from because if you stop them from their passing game and their flow, that is what
What happened to
Haaland can't
Arsenal?
create. So here's my second thing: Haaland can't create goals by himself. Haaland gets his goals due to the flow that City have through their passing game. Because here's the thing: if we're dealing with Messi or pick R9. See, no, I'll say even because Messi
We don't have to
was
do
hard
all
because
that.
with this,
Okay.
but hold on, here's my thing.
Okay.
If you're dealing with, let's say, a pick R9, you have to have a plan for him because that guy can receive the ball anywhere and can harm you from all over the pitch. Haaland, as amazing as he is
Yeah.
dependent on the supply chain of City.
No, but HH,
So,
to answer your question,
it's about having a buffer against City's overall game plan rather than okay,
you're a
let's
few
just focus
weeks
on Haaland.
behind
Because if
HH.
you just focus on
HH.
Haaland, KDB is free, Silva is free, Grealish is free, Gundogan is free, and they can all score.
Okay.
No, but HH, you're a few weeks
Wait,
behind.
hold
That's
on.
the-
Wait.
So, I mean, Don Smoke's on the right track, so I'm gonna concede real quick, but I'm gonna throw this out because I think it's actually a question for Real Madrid fans to also answer. If there's something you're going to want, because you mentioned Ancelotti, if Ancelotti's talking to his squad, what is the first thing he's having them be focused on? If you guys are telling me the first thing that he's going to have them focus on isn't Holland, I'm surprised at that.
Okay, HH. Okay, I was saying you're a few weeks behind, right? So earlier on, right, most managers realize that, you know what, to stop Haaland, stop the supply, right? And if you see Arsenal, they played us man to man. And if you heard
Which was
Mo earlier, he
stupid.
told you, no, we now play long balls. And that's where Edison comes in. You have Edison, who pings the ball to Haaland. Haaland plays as a target man, right? Holds the ball. Hence, I think Militao not being there now becomes at a disadvantage, right? Because then Haaland, let's say, for example, if it's Alaba, Haaland can hold him off. He holds the ball, and then, as I'm saying, we now have different ways of playing different tactics. It's not just plan A anymore, whereby we want to play our tiki taka and move. No. We can play direct now if we have to. And so I'm saying is that, and if all fails, we bring Alvarez. We throw Alvarez and we go gung ho, whereby we can still play our intricate play. Hence, I'm saying HHU a few weeks behind. Talking about, you haven't been
Don,
watching.
No, that's why.
but
That's
Don,
why. Sorry. Yeah. So that's why the defensive line, right? How high the defensive line is going to be a very crucial. Is it going to be mid block? Is it going to be very high? I'm sure that it's not going to be high. So when the question is about how are we going to defend Haaland? Yes, Haaland will come. I mean, during discussions, right? When they are discussing who are our threats, Haaland will be number one. So they won't focus just on how to stop Haaland, but as a defensive unit where the line they set up, right? It's
Will you
not going to be
press us?
high.
Will you press us up the pitch?
No. Yeah, that's not Ancelotti's style. I mean, if we start pressing you man to man, like how Arsenal tried to do, I think that will end up in a disaster. I mean,
See, here's my thing. For me, I think that judging City based on their Premier League games and so forth is a moot point because
I'm saying
there is
Bayern.
there is no team that City have played that are like Real Madrid. I can't even think of a team that City have played this season that are close to what Real Madrid are and the dangers that they pose. So using the example of like how City played in the last few weeks, because there is no kind of correlation of like a Real Madrid type team City have played to even compare with them. So the best you can do is how did they both match up last year? And when you look at it, you can see that both guys can land blows at one another. That's what makes it so interesting because you can see that, no, both guys know each other's weaknesses and both guys have weapons to expose each other's weaknesses. Which is why when we go back to the beginning of the show, it's interesting what Paul said. City have improved because Haaland is now something new, but also as well, Vini is getting even better. Vini has already surpassed his numbers from last season. So that's Vini you saw last year who had double figures in goals and assists. No, he's not even gotten even better. And we now saw what they both did in the Copa del Rey final. So which is why it's fascinating because my thing is, who's gonna?
But
who's gonna
HH,
have
other
the
than
upper hand?
Vinny, I don't think the others have, reached the next level or they have improved. I mean, Vinny is carried on his form.
I disagree with that.
Rodrigo,
Rodrigo's gotten better. I think.
Camavinga
Has he?
it's incredible.
No, but
How-
his,
I
his,
mean,
Rodrigo's
how-
always been the same, but he's gotten chances to start this year. That's the only difference. He's been the same
No,
last
and
year.
he's
as well.
scoring. And now lately he had a rough patch.
No,
Where he was
Vete,
scoring.
remake.
Has he improved considerably from last year?
Not
Rodrigo.
considerable, but he has improved. But there is another one who Camavinga has massively improved. In fact,
Okay.
I think Camavinga. You know what? I don't think he'll play a double pivot. I think I know what he's going to do. Ancelotti. He's going to make Camavinga the free man. If you see Madrid play, they always play to seek the free man. Now, who is always the free man? Benzema. But obviously, City is preparing a trap for Benzema. That is what they have been planning because what the Madrid City have played, Benzema was the main guy. As simple as that. This Madrid does not have Benzema as the main guy. Not anymore.
Paul.
And I think he's gonna give Camavinga the free role, and he's gonna.
Yeah, but that's Bernardo Silva now, because that's why Bernardo Silva plays on the wing, because Bernardo Silva is basically like two players. He has the engine for it, whereby if you watch him, he basically covers.
He has the
two
legs.
players.
And
covers
also
two players.
Silva was great.
Camavinga is going to be
legs.
similar to a Zinchenko in terms of that free role.
Also remember Paul and Vince where Silva was money in both legs. Remember that score in the first leg?
Absolutely.
And I remember because I think it was him who gave the pass to sorry. I think
Mahrez.
it was Gundogan who gave the pass to Silva.
Yeah.
And
Then
Silva
Silva
gave
gave the pass to Mahrez. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. Let me just say this quickly, Veta, if I may. I think tactically to break this game down and how Manchester City win this game, I think it's it's like and anyone who's interested in tactics, it's like a tactical dream. Like because Manchester City can kill you so many different ways. They can. In my general opinion, in terms of a team that can play football, so who's better than Man City? There isn't. They will out football you. They will just completely pass and exploit your weaknesses. That's what they do. But now the fact that they also added Haaland, and initially when I said Ancelotti should not game plan for Haaland, the game plan should not be let's stop Haaland at all costs. I think if you do that, these guys, in terms of the football brain, their football IQ, the way they can interchange, the way Kevin De Bruyne can play.
You have to look at the entire team.
You can't do that.
No, because I think because Yasser is right in the sense of like, of course, Real Madrid deserved to win last year because they scored more goals. Real could have very easily lost that game, and that is why City, Pep would have been up at night because City knew that we had it. Like we literally had that game. So Carlo will know that, bro. Phew, that was a close one. So without Haaland, was like, bro, these guys, because Real will know that. Yes, we deserve to win. You could also argue that City should have won, but Real deserved to win because they ended up winning.
100%.
So when you realize you're like, okay,
deserving.
I know you've got Haaland, but bro, we actually had issues with you without Haaland. So we still have to focus on those issues that you gave us in last year, that season. So it's a whole ball of wax. But Victor.
So two things, because the notes I've been taking on these Friday night classes, they've stacked up. But the one thing that I was desperately hoping for, and I thought they were going to be on track, was that they were going to have to play for something in La Liga. I was desperate. I wanted them to have to play for something in La Liga. And like clockwork, these guys have given up on that league, and all they're focusing on Champions League.
It's all the chips.
That's never the case with us.
All the chips are in this, bro.
That's never the case with us. We're always trying to win this league, and on top of that, go for Champions League. These guys have the luxury to just kick their feet up and be like, nah, we don't need it this year.
Last year we won the league and the Champions League. So
yes, and this year you guys are like, I don't want to do it back to back. It's like, who cares, Barca? You have it. I'm like, yo, that must be nice. Now, I wish they were playing for something. They're not. They're third in the league, and so all their eggs are put in that basket for Champions League. Advantage them versus City, because we still have our sights on winning this thing. And then two,
Right, we're the underdogs now.
We're truly underdogs. Yes. They've won 14.
But we couldn't rest players this weekend, right? Because of the Copa del Rey final. I think if it was a league match, we would have completely rested. In fact, Man City rested their main players more. I feel. Really.
Two games before your Copa, you rested players. I've been watching you guys. Relax.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say this: if you, as a squad, play similar to last season and don't press us, don't look to win possession, then I'm going to gain my confidence. But I'm going to watch whether our players are accurate with their passes. If we're accurate, we're playing in your house and we're pinpoint accurate with our passing, I'm gonna grow in some confidence because you guys aren't going to come out of your form to really get possession, and that is where I think we get a little bit of an edge, and hopefully the calmness that we've seen from City in terms of not pressing, not leaving ourselves exposed, is where this chess match I think is going to happen, and I think it was Smoke who mentioned it's going to be whoever can really break down the defenses in the box and have success. But I think it's a little advantage City if you guys don't try to press us for possession.
I will say, just to add to that, Bater, just short, I think Real Madrid has gotten much better to recovering the ball compared to last year. Especially with people like Camavinga, Rodrigo tracks back even more, Vinicius tracks back. I think we've gotten slightly better, so we'll see that as well.
So let me just hit this and then we'll just round off. So, and then I want to just hear scores. So, Joseph said it's hot, but City are doing this treble. Say treble for City, which I think could happen. Okay, so look, let me just put this out. So I want to get your predictions, guys. Let me just hit the stream marker predictions. So I want to just hear your predictions for the first leg. So all I want to just hear is what you think will happen, and let's go very brief. So for me, it's going to be an open game. I see an exciting game, and I am going with 2-2. I think it ends up being 2-2. Paul, what are you saying?
The same, 2-2.
Sorry. Hold on. You can't get away with that, HH.
What? Exciting
2-2.
game, 2-2.
Okay. Who scores to tie it?
I mean,
wait, hold on. Let me think.
No,
I
the first
think that it's City will be up to 1, Real score to tie it. So I think City score first, Real equalize, City go up 2-1, Real then late in the game equalize, and it ends 2-2. So basically, I think City will really sort of be on their game, but Real will just keep punching back and countering. So yeah, 2-2. So Vince, what do you say? Score.
I think Madrid will win it 3-2 in the first leg.
Yes,
it will be full of goals. So, but I think Ancelotti, based on his press conference, I think he's come out and said that we'll attack, we won't sit back. But I'm not sure whether he's bluffing or not. But this will be full of goals, especially in the first leg. 3-2.
Yes,
and even if it's a draw, I don't think Madrid will be disappointed. I think everyone here were talking about Madrid have to win the first leg. I think even if it's a draw, I think we'll take that to the second leg.
You've got to, I think you've got to win the first leg. With it being at Etihad, I think you've got to win the first leg. But look, I could be wrong. Okay, yes, what are you saying? Scoreline.
1-1.
1-1. Smoke.
He can't get away with that. Who scores first and who ties it?
Okay. Who scores first? Who ties?
I think Man City score first and Real Madrid ties.
All
right. Smoke.
We'll win 3-1, right? We'll score 2-0. Madrid will equalize to 2-1. Then Benzema will call Vinicius and Modric. They'll have that speech. They'll have their moment, and then we'll score the third goal. And then
so you're saying 3-1 to City?
3-1, yeah. After that speech of
Patrick, what do you say?
I'm going for a draw. I think we'll get draws. I just see we might cancel each other out. I think Pep is going to do that Leipzig and Bayern thing. I think he's going to go away because last time at Leipzig, I kept on screaming at the screen, what are we doing? I think all that, as I said, has been in preparation for Madrid. He wants to go there, be calm. But if we play like the Leipzig one or the Bayern one, it might also fall in our hands if Madrid start pushing up because of the pressure of their fans. Maybe they'll start attacking us. We might do a counter like what Haaland did. But I see a 2-2. I also see a draw.
Vato, what are you saying? So we have 3 2-2s. So what are you saying, Vato?
I would actually prefer to do this after seeing the lineup.
But I'm going to ask you now, so you're going to give me a scoreline now.
The lineups are known, to be honest. I mean, I think both sides know their lineups.
Actually, tell me your lineup.
No,
I can tell you.
but give me
I'll
a
go.
scoreline first. Give me a scoreline first. Give me a scoreline first. Better give me a scoreline.
I have to go deep into my pages here.
Okay.
It's going to be a 2-1 City, and
Ooh.
City scores the second one late in the second half.
So
It'll
who
be
scores
it'll
first?
be 0-0 for the first half, and there'll be 3 goals scored in the second half.
So City score first, Madrid score first. City score first.
Yeah, City score first.
I think Pep Guardiola won't mind a draw. I think.
I'm happy with the
Obviously.
draw. I'm happy with
first
the
leg,
draw.
obviously.
Yeah.
No. But my thing is that City will. I think City will have a proactive approach. Basically, City wouldn't have the approach they had in the first against Leipzig. City will go out to be like, obviously, we're not going to go all out, so we have to win. But their mindset is let's try and look for that win, because I think first leg against Leipzig, it was just keep it, keep contained. I think they're going to be like, you know what? Hence why I feel that don't be surprised if they sends up 3-2 to City. I'll still say 2-2, but don't be surprised if City just win this game at 3-2. And then it now then second leg is now really all no holds barred for the second leg.
We were cool with leaving that game 1-0. That Leipzig game, we would have been cool away leaving that game 1-0. So
for sure.
That's why I think I don't know. I keep looking at my notes. I keep seeing us scoring first, and it could be a really KG 1-1, KG 2-1. Either way, it's going to be a chess match. I can see it.
So guys, look, man, let's run so good. I want to shout out to everybody who's been in here. So guys, remember, we'll be here tomorrow. Whatever happens, we'll be here tomorrow. So remember, guys, my watch along will be on Twitch. Obviously, I'll do a pre-game space on Twitter. Then I'll be live for the watch along on Twitch. Join me on Twitch. Then of course we'll be back here on YouTube.
I just want to say this.
Yes.
If Madrid, I will say this. I'm watching the game with some friends out of my house, so I won't be in case Madrid lose. So people don't say, "Oh, it's not coming." Okay.
Okay. All right.
I put that out.
Win or lose, so if Madrid lose 5-0, 6-0, it was because you were with some friends getting drunk trying to fight some.
Actually, if we lose 6-0, just for the fucking anger, I'll probably come here and rant. So.
Okay, you're right about Carlo. Okay, guys, look, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the YouTube, guys. Peace out. Peace.
Peace.